Coming up on Laser Update, we take a look at OCC's very own Alumni Art Show to get a brief history at previous OCC students and the careers they took upon.
And as we head into finals week, we will also take a look at a recent interview with the director of the Learning Center, Ted Matthews. All that and more in the next 20 minutes.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Laser Update.
This is the show where we, as the students of the BMC program, talk to you about what's going on around campus, whether it's about the latest news, sports, or activities happening on campus that might catch your eye. I'm Morgan Cavanis.
And I'm Rainey Morgan. We're at the final stretch of the semester, and we all know that the final weeks of the semester can get a little wild.
Well, guess what? We only have a couple weeks left until vacation, so let's try to finish off strong.
I agree. I can't wait to kick my feet back and relax.
And with all that out of the way, let's get started with our first segment.
For our first segment, we will begin with the Alumni Art Show. The guests are some of OCC's graduates from the art program to talk about what careers they pursued after receiving their art degree from the college. Plus, they decided to give the OCC freshmen some advice on what to do if they don't know where to go after getting their degree, whether it be transferring to a different school after graduation or pursuing a career. One of our BMC reporters, Nick Kraus, gives us the details.
OCC has hosted an art alumni panel where local artists and OCC alumni share how they have achieved success in the art community after they graduated from OCC's art program, made all possible by Kelly Untz.
It's kind of geared towards art students, so what we're doing is bringing in former alumni from the art program here at OCC. They're going to come in and talk about what their experience was like here at OCC in the art program and kind of how it led to their success now in their positions or titles, whatever they give themselves, just in their profession within the art industry. So we have an illustrator coming in, we have a muralist coming in, and we're going to be looking at somebody that does a little bit of films and graphics. We're trying to bring them in right now, just to talk to students, because the art industry itself can be very broad and very scary. So students that are in the art program now, they're not really sure how to navigate to get to maybe where they want to be. So aside from art education, there's a bunch of different avenues that art students can take, and bringing these panelists in to talk about how they got to where they are now is going to really help hopefully inspire students and kind of maybe show them different pathways and avenues that they haven't considered and how they can use their art degree.
So I am a freelance videographer, producer, editor, photographer, and I do some graphic design art in the sense of flyers and save the dates for wedding clients and things like that. My time at OCC, I think, was fast. One, it was a fast 2 years of learning. You know, in my same field of media, depending on what particular medium you're in, just try to stay patient, I think. Patient with yourself, patient with the process. And take things a little bit at a time.
Even though the art show has concluded, you can still look at other people's art on the wall of the second floor of Whitney Hall.
And speaking of alumni, there was an alumni student that used to go to this school. He was a BMC student just like us. His name was Mike Speech, a BMC graduate from the class of 2002. After graduation, he decided to go to New York City to pursue sound design. But then he came back to be a chocolatier at a candy shop, which is a family business of his. BMC reporter Colin Rickert has an exclusive interview with Speech so he could share about his BMC studies and his sweet family business.
The Broadcast Media Communications program at OCC takes its graduates all around the country and beyond. Some BMC alumni remain in Syracuse as important members of our community. We recently sat down with Mike Speech of Speech Candy on Syracuse's north side.
So when I attended OCC, I left right from high school, so I actually am a graduating class of 2002. Back then, it was called Electronic Media and Communications, so EMC. My time at OCC was wonderful. My mother also went to OCC, which is really kind of cool. Definitely something that you can translate into running a family business. That dynamic is crazy because, instead of me, arguing with a fellow student or arguing with a contemporary in a program or in a class, I'm arguing with my sister and my aunt. So a little bit different there.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I remember when one of the projects we had to do a newscast. The neat part was that I was able to do a lot of the art and like a lot of the crayon stuff. So like I was doing a lot of that stuff and learning how to do a layout and figuring out, how to do your frames and making sure all of that stuff was ready to go. And I've translated a lot of that as well into a lot of the art that we do here in the store, because most of the artwork and labels that you see on most of our products are actually done by me as well. And I've actually designed the majority of our website that we currently use today. One of the alumni faces, which is really awesome, an honor that I never thought I'd ever receive, especially when I see the other people on that wall. But it's really, really awesome, and my time at OCC was wonderful, and I would never trade that for anything.
For Laser Update, I'm Colin Rickard.
That was one sweet and savory story. If you want to learn more about Mike or any other alumni, you can visit the recital hall. Down that hallway, you can see other OCC alumni by reading their plaques.
Since we're still on the topic of chocolate, did you know that in the year of 2022, people had spent more money on legal cannabis than chocolate?
No way. I wouldn't imagine that cannabis would beat something like a Hershey bar when it comes to sales.
Which leads us to our next segment, where we talk to students about any topic you could think of around campus. We call it Pulse of the Campus.
Our BMC reporter, Yuffie Legitimus, went around campus to get people to talk about their opinions on cannabis being legal in New York State.
Smoking weed is now legal in New York State. Here's what students at Onondaga Community College have to say.
I think it opens up a lot of possibilities for medical use and also just recreational use, because I feel like it's safer than alcohol in most senses. In substance abuse things, I mean, you can black out on alcohol, but you're not going to overdose on weed, A little Mary Jane here and there isn't going to kill you. It's only going to make you stronger.
I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter to me, but it could be beneficial to other people due to the fact that some people say it relieves stress and anxiety, but it could also be bad because a lot of people abuse it and just use it just to use it.
I think it gives people a real opportunity to smoke, because in other countries, like we saw with Brittany Griner, she went to Russia and they put her to jail. And luckily she got out, thank God, but dude, let's go America. Number one.
Whether you think legalization was a good thing or not, only time can tell. I'm Yuffie Legitimus, and this has been the Pulse of the Campus.
Wow, people really have their own taste when it comes down to questions like this.
Before we break, we will keep you up to date on all the happenings on campus, including what's coming up this week. Check it out. On May 8th, Vera House will be available to visit at Space 9 in the Gordon Center between the hours of 11 a.m. through 1 p.m. During that time, students can discuss about any questions relating to any type of domestic or sexual violence, abuse, consent, or any unhealthy relationships.
And don't worry, all advocates will keep all conversations confidential and anonymous. We'll be right back after this break.
What's cooking at the Learning Center? If you're struggling with your academics or hungry for some extra learning, the Learning Center is here for you. Book your appointment with ease by stopping by or booking online. We provide different cuisines that fit your learning curve, like English learning, mathematics, and science. We move on to our main course like biology and physics with our state-of-the-art science room with actual models for hands-on learning. We provide after-hour sessions to suit your needs, ranging from 7 p.m. to midnight, Sunday through Thursday. Visit us in room G202 in the Gordon Hall for free now.
The Coulter Library is your place for entertainment. With over 77,000 books, movies, and CDs, there's always something to do. Your place for research help. Trouble with a project? Ask a librarian. Your place for quiet space. Shh. Our first floor is reserved for quiet work only. Your place for IT help. Visit our help desk on the second floor. All this and so much more at the Coulter Library. Open 7 days a week. For more information, visit sunyocc.edu/library.
If you've been living under a web, Marvel's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is swinging into theaters June 2nd, following up from Miles Morales' first adventure from Into the Spider-Verse. He reunites with his friend Gwen Stacy, who is also known as Spider-Gwen. Our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that protects the streets of Brooklyn gets swung across the multiverse to start his new adventure.
Welcome back to this episode of Laser Update. I'm Rainey Morgan.
And I'm Morgan Cavanis. Before we went on break, we talked about the Alumni Art Show and one of BMC's alumni, Mark's speech.
But enough about that. Can you believe finals week is right around the corner?
I can, and guess what? I have a way to pass finals without even trying.
Seriously?
Of course, and that will be discussed in our next segment. The reason why I said that I'm going to be able to pass my finals without even trying is because we have the Learning Center. To shorten it up, it's basically a tutoring center for all OCC students that can use the resource if they have work that they're struggling with, and it's free. Our producer, Lu Hansen, spent some time with the Learning Center's Ted Matthews to talk about his background before coming to OCC, the Learning Center's history, and all of its plans for OCC students in the future.
Before I came back in my current position, I was a financial analyst at Lockheed Martin, and even before that, I was an auditor for the government for auditing credit unions. I started my position here in a full-time capacity of January 2013. Students are always going to have questions. People are going to have questions no matter what throughout life, whether if they're going to a community college like OCC or up through Ivy League like a Harvard or Princeton. Students are going to have questions. Sometimes they can't get a hold of their professor. Some professors are maybe a little too intimidating. They want to hear it from somebody else, but sometimes it's good to go to somebody like a peer tutor. Someone can maybe explain it a little bit differently for them, but folks are always going to have questions. Before I moved over here, there was 3 different areas for academic support on campus. There was a content tutoring center, which was located on the 3rd floor of the Coulter Library. There was a writing and study skills center on the 3rd floor of Mawinnie, and then there was a math lab on the 2nd floor of Mawinnie as well. Students can come here and either make an appointment with a tutor, which we suggest, or they could take advantage of a walk-in if a tutor is available. We do have drop-in sessions in math and chemistry, but the students can make an appointment either. They can do it through our scheduling system online if they like. They can stop by our office. They can call. And they can make their appointments that way. We're always looking at different ways of how we can offer support to students. Sometimes I go to conferences, I talk to other folks at other colleges, and they're doing this, and I get different ideas that might be able to bring back to OCC. With Micron coming on board, there's going to be, as well as drone technologies, different curriculums that colleges implementing. We're going to have to support those students.
The Learning Center can be very useful, especially towards finals week.
If you want to learn more, you can head over to the Learning Center in Gordon Hall, right across from the cafeteria.
Our next segment is called Did You Know?, where we talk about places or events that happen around campus that you wouldn't even know about.
Since we had talked about Ted Matthews, why don't we tell our viewers about the Learning Center itself? BMC reporter Colin Harrington has our story.
Did you know OCC has a Learning Center where students can go for tutoring help, study time, and much more? Located inside the Gordon building, just outside the cafeteria. Stop by the front desk to schedule a time for your next study session. The Learning Center is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. till 8 p.m. and even on the weekends too inside the Coulter Library. To find out more information, go to sunyocc.edu/the Learning Center.
Thank you, Colin. I wouldn't be surprised if the Learning Center is completely booked for the next 2 weeks.
Whether you have a job interview or an upcoming presentation, the Career Closet is available to all students to provide professional clothing. BMC reporter Annabelle Hughes has the story.
OCC's career services are here to help you get that interview with the help of the Career Closet.
It's professional apparel for students to be able to come in and gather, and they can come in and take whatever they need for any interviews, special events, things they have going on when they need to look professional.
The Career Closet can hook you up with many things: ties, shirts, pants, purses, sightings of this horrid mannequin.
Coming in, clothes are free, one outfit, and we do our best to serve you well.
Unfortunately, the main hallway to access the Career Closet is currently dealing with construction, which has led many students thinking they can't access this service, but that's far from the truth.
Some students say, "Oh, I never know the Career Closet was open, And I said, just look at the door and you see the sign, you'll see that it's open from Monday to Thursday.
So if you're looking for an outfit to help you nail your next interview, be sure to follow the signs and head to the Career Closet in Mawinnie.
Thanks, Annabelle. Even though it's still under construction in Mawinnie Hall, the detour was a nice touch for anyone who needs access to their services ASAP.
I think it's time to take a break. Let's transition over to Laser Sports and catch up on previous games and what's next as they head towards the end of their season.
I like working at Onondaga Community College because it's a smart choice for our students. It's accessible, it's affordable, it's a great place to start a career or an academic journey. Overall, it's a great place to be.
I chose OCC because it allowed me to discover my interests, make connections, and build a clear path for my future.
I like OCC because it's a great place to learn and engage in your community.
Are you tired of spending hundreds of dollars on textbooks you'll only use once? Well, we got the program for you. The Box of Books program allows you to get all of your class resources at a price you can afford. There's a reason why over 75% of all students took advantage of this amazing opportunity. Stop by the Whitney Atrium to visit the bookstore or go to their website at onondagacc.bncollege.com to reserve your box of books now.
For all anime fans, Jujutsu Kaisen is coming back with its second season on July 6th. Starring everyone's favorite Gojo Satoru, we get sent back in time to see how this goofy instructor lived when he was a student in the academy. It will be available to stream on Crunchyroll and Funimation. Welcome back to Laser Update.
Wow, I was not expecting the show to go by that fast.
I know, right? It feels like we just started production.
Well, since this is our last segment, let's get into Got Issues.
Today's topic is fashion trends and how most fashion designers utilize characters from shows and films to create the next biggest product.
Our producer, Lu Hansen, joins Allie Elkins and Brandon King.
Thank you to everyone in the studio. Good day, everyone. I'm your host, Lu Hansen, and welcome to Got Issues Pop Culture Edition. It's the segment where we discuss the latest trends that revolve around us. Today, we'll be discussing about the boots that are stylish but hard to take off, and what kinds of outfits you'll see if you are at courtside of an NBA game. Joining me today for this discussion is Allie Elkins and Brandon King to talk about their opinions of fashion. Thank you both for joining me today. Okay, so first question will go out to Allie. The Mischief Red boots. What are your opinions on the boots going around social media?
I mean, at first I thought they were kind of ridiculous because I didn't really know what was behind them, but they definitely remind me of the Yeezy boot trend a little bit because they're these oversized boots, and I know that's not like the purpose behind them, but they remind me a lot of that kind of vibe. So I definitely think it's like, it makes sense that they're popular.
I can see why you get Yeezy from because it does look like a Yeezy boot, but the actual inspiration behind the shoe is from a fictional character named Astro Boy. And this goes out to you, Brendan. Since we're talking about fictional characters, do you think that most of these fictional characters will be inspired by fashion later on in the future?
I mean, if you're asking, will fictional characters inspire fashion, which I'm pretty sure you're trying to ask. I just think that it's more aesthetic-wise. Like there's an artist named Destroy Lonely, and people typically try and match him up with Batman just because it's all black and somewhat mysterious. So I think that it's really going to inspire aesthetics more than actual just pieces.
All right, this next question goes out to Allie since we're talking about directing. There's this one show on Netflix called Intergalactic. And what do you think about most of these celebrities like becoming like directors and taking fashion, their knowledge of fashion, into their characters and make them dress up like how we dress up in today's time?
Well, I definitely think it makes it more relatable, and I mean, fashion is flashier than ever, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of new things going on, and whether they're absolute flops or they actually look good, it's important in our culture today to like kind of have that abstract vibe to what you're wearing, especially if you're a celebrity. I think it's fascinating, personally.
Okay, when we come back, we'll be talking about what it's like to be on courtside with fits that stand out from the crowd, right here on Got Issues. What's cooking at the Learning Center? If you're struggling with your academics or hungry for some extra learning, the Learning Center is here for you. Book your appointment with ease by stopping by or booking online. We provide different cuisines that fit your learning curve, like English learning, mathematics, and science. We move on to our main course like biology and physics with our state-of-the-art science room with actual models for hands-on learning. We provide after-hour sessions to suit your needs ranging from 7 p.m. to midnight, Sunday through Thursday. Visit us in room G202 in the Gordon Hall for free now. Welcome back to Got Issues Pop Culture Edition. Damien here again with Allie Elkins and Brandon King, and we'll be talking about the Mischief boot that was going around social media. Let's continue with our next set of questions. Okay, this question goes out to you, Allie. Since we have this whole fashion thing going around, what are your opinions of celebrities dressing up in like these big outfits to go to simple events like an NBA game?
I think that sometimes it can get a little bit ridiculous. I've seen some really huge fashion fails, and I've seen some really cool outfits. I mean, the outfit that A Boogie wore to the Syracuse basketball game was like this puffer vibe, and he had like a bucket hat. It was kind of cool, and sometimes they can really work out like that.
Most of the time, I don't even know most celebrities will even actually come here to watch a Syracuse basketball game. That sounds really interesting. And this doesn't just go for celebrities on like the side court. This can also go for athletes offside the court. So Brendan, this question will dish out to you. What are your opinions, or like what do you think about their sense of fashion of athletes off the court?
I think that it's perfectly fine that they express themselves, especially with their extravagant fits that they wear. I mean, there's players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Kyle Kuzma that are big into fashion. Like one of them wore a pillow on their neck to the game. The other one, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, wore red boots with baggy pants and a baggy jacket. It worked out. And then there's others like Russell Westbrook, which is fine, usually. Wearing a tuxedo romper with shorts, it's kind of crazy, but he expresses himself, and that's just fine in my eyes.
Personally, if you like it, buy it. It's your own money. All right, this next question will go out to you, Ali. What do you think about celebrities collaborating with these big brands like Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Carhartt? What are your opinions on that? Do you think that it should be sold at a high price? If not, why?
I definitely think they should be affordable because I enjoy shopping from time to time, and I love a good celebrity collaboration. And I don't love to break the bank over a really good collaboration that I might want to actually buy some of the stuff from. So I definitely think that making it affordable helps the brand and obviously helps the consumer.
Okay. I'd like to thank my guests, Ali Elkins and Brandon King, for joining me here today, and I hope you've all enjoyed watching. I'm your host, Lu Hansen, and that's Got Issues.
And with that, our show is complete. Thank you for watching this episode of Laser Update.
If you enjoy watching us, make sure you like and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel by scanning the QR code on the screen. New episodes of Laser Update are uploaded before 5 p.m. from Monday through Thursday. Once again, I'm Rainey Morgan.
And I'm Morgan Cavanis.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a great day and have a great weekend.